I turned this sample
irritable bowel syndrome
into this pattern. Freebeat. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Today's patron shout-out goes to Isaac Horgan. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. Alright, well, with the announcement of the Polyend Tracker Mini earlier today, I figured I'd bust out my normal Polyend Tracker and play with it a bit and see what I could come up with. I was actually just planning on doing this off camera just for myself. However, I was using the radio as an input source on the sample recorder, and I came across this ad.
irritable bowel syndrome
So I knew I had to sample it. It was about 30 seconds of audio, but I trimmed it down to this.
irritable bowel syndrome
And I started working with it, and just a little bit later, I had this. So, I figured I'd show you how I got to that point, and then maybe we'd add something else on it, on the top of the track. So, let's just have a listen here to track number 1. This one should be fairly obvious. I went into the envelope settings for the filter cutoff and basically automated a low pass filter sweep, and then just with a little bit of overdrive and cranking the bit depth down, I was able to come up with this kind of kick drum sound, and I was actually pretty happy with how that came out. So I just went ahead and sequenced it here, 8th notes down the board, and every other kick drum I lowered the volume a little bit, so it's doom 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 doom, as you could tell. And yeah, that's where that kick drum came from. Now here on track 2, we have this sort of gross snare drum sound, I guess we'll call it. And basically all that is the opposite of the kick drum. I automated a high pass filter using the envelope, but in reverse. So at the kick drum we went down, this is an up sweep. So yeah, just a little bit of attack on the envelope there. And this one's actually pretty fun across the board. And on both of these sounds, I did go into my normal volume ADSR, and I've got them pretty short. So there's the snare drum, and then here's the kick drum. So as you can see, pretty short. However, the first sound that I came up with was actually this one. And this is the sample that inspired the whole thing. Of course, it's basically just that first sample, but ran through a low-pass filter and pitched down.
irritable bowel syndrome
And as I was playing with it, I just kept hearing this. And the more you hear this, the more the word irritable starts to disappear, and your ears start to hear it more as like a burr. But yeah, that was kind of the inspiration for the whole thing. So track number 3 is actually just that. I love the end when it cuts off there. And if we combine that with the first 2 tracks, sounds almost like a normal beat. That snare drum sounds so disgusting, and I love it. And then for track 4, I wanted to come up with a bass, so I took the same exact sample and ran it into... Actually, first thing that I did is I went to the sample editor and I ran it through the wavetable smoother, and then ran it through the wavetable engine, and came up with this. Just a pretty basic sounding synth, a little bit of automation on the filter there. And And there's actually a little more automation on this one than first meets the eye. I also automated the wavetable position with an LFO set to random and 32 steps. And what that does is when I hit the note repeatedly here, you're going to hear the LFO doing its thing. Gets very rhythmic. And I took advantage of that here on track 4. So I sequenced in a basic bass line, C, and then C sharp on the next quarter note, and then another C. But then right here, we have 4 notes back to back. So da 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 da. And at first I didn't have that LFO automation on the wavetable, but I decided I wanted these 5 notes technically here to feel a bit staggered and different from one another. So yeah, it definitely helped to get that LFO going. And you can hear it's different each time. Yeah, so that's where we're at right now. So let's go to track 5 and let's load in another instance of this sample here, which we've already got.
Irritable bowel syndrome.
Okay, we're going to go to sample editor and let's go ahead and normalize that.
Irritable bowel syndrome.
Okay, perfect. Let's get like a little plucky thing. I think that sounds cool. What if we go sample playback and let's take a peek at using the granular engine. We're going to keep it with a square wave. Set it to backwards, sure. I'm not sure if I necessarily want to pluck or if I want more of like a bell type sound or something completely different. So let's go into our automation here and play around with it. First of all, okay, we're basically in tune. Let's go into our envelope here, or sorry, our filter section. Maybe something like that. How does this sound if I crank down the bit depth? Interesting, interesting. Let's go ahead and bring down the overall volume. And go to our ADSR here. Volume, there we go. Let's go ahead and mess with these. Yeah, like maybe a call and response type pattern there, so the bass plays its thing and then we go something like that. I don't know. Could be fun. Let's go ahead and try to put something like that in. Let's have a listen. Yeah, that's cool. And then we'll do another one down here. Cool. Let's send that to a bunch of reverb. There we go. Little delay, sure, why not? What else can we do here? We can automate the panning to completely random. Then we'll go 32 steps. Anyway, I think this might be our pattern, so I'm going to mute some tracks and let's have a little bit of a jam with it. Here we go. There we go. So, yeah, that's how I took this sample
Irritable bowel syndrome.
and turned it into that pattern you just heard. I do hope you found this video informative or at least entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you all seriously so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.